Sit closer, traveler. Let the fire warm your body and my words warm your heart. Tonight is a good night for stories. I will tell you an old tale, one that is rarely spoken, for not everyone wishes to hear it. It is the story of a shaman who lost his name. Long ago, when the mountains were still growing and the rivers were carving their paths to the sea, there lived a shaman named Kyunyuk. He was wise, knowing the languages of the elements and seeing the path where others saw only emptiness. One night, as the great darkness was ending and the half-year-long night prepared to surrender to the returning sun, the sky was blacker than usual. Even the moon had hidden behind thick clouds. That was when the nameless shadow came to Kyunyuk. "Shaman," it whispered, "you know many things, but you do not know the most important one." "And what is that?" Kyunyuk asked. "You do not know who you are," the shadow said. "I am a great shaman," Kyunyuk replied. "That is not enough. There are many shamans. But do you know who you are without your name?" The shadow laughed. The shaman frowned. He knew that a name was power. It connected a person to their soul. Lose it, and you become nothing but an empty vessel. "And what do you want?" he asked. "Let's play a game," the nameless shadow said. "If you win, I will give you knowledge that no other shaman possesses. But if you lose, I will take your name." Kyunyuk was not afraid. He had been a shaman for many decades. He had defeated dark spirits, tamed wild beasts, and commanded the elements. He knew many things. "What is the game?" he asked. "It is simple," the shadow whispered. "At sunrise, you must find me. Tell me where I'm hiding." Kyunyuk smirked. What a foolish challenge. He knew that shadows always hid behind stones, trees, under the hooves of reindeer. "I accept," he said. The shadow vanished, and Kyunyuk waited for the sun to rise. He waited one day, then two, then three. But the sun did not rise. He searched for the nameless shadow everywhere, behind rocks and stones, beneath the branches of trees, under the hooves of reindeer, even beneath the silent steps of wolves. But how could he find darkness in darkness? How could he find that which had no name? How could he find something that, in truth, did not exist? That was when Kyunyuk realized the nameless shadow had tricked him. It had already taken his name, and he could no longer remember it. He was no longer Kyunyuk. He was no one. For a long time, he wandered through the endless night, lost. Then, by chance, he stumbled upon his drum. He grasped it tightly and struck it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. "Spirits of my ancestors, help me. I have made a mistake, and I lost my name. I do not know who I am or where to go. Do not abandon your foolish descendant. Show me the way." And the spirits of his ancestors answered. They led him to a lone, ancient tree standing tall in the tundra. "Your name is here," the wind whispered. The shaman reached out and touched the rough bark of the tree, and he heard a whisper. The tree remembered his name. The tree remembered the names of his parents. The tree remembered the names of all his ancestors. It was his ancestral tree. Now Kyunyuk remembered everything. He struck his drum again. 1, 2, 3. He called the sun, and the sun rose, and with the first ray of light, the nameless shadow returned. "You tricked me," the shaman said. "No," the shadow laughed. "You simply misunderstood the game. I was testing you. I wanted you to remember who you are. A name is not just a word. It is your power. And you are not just yourself. You stand on the shoulders of your ancestors." Since that day, Shamans have no longer feared losing their names, for they know that a true name does not live in words, but in the heart. And every person is both an individual and a part of their lineage. That connection will never let them be truly lost. But the cunning shadow is always nearby. So to avoid losing yourself, ask yourself often, who are you? And always remember whose shoulders you stand upon.